Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 273 of the Comic Watchers Show. He's Chad.
Who are you?
I'm Matt, the two-fisted editor-in-chief. He's Chad B. With no official other title, I suppose.
Eh.
So we're going to kind of take it a little easy this week, and we're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con and this year's Eisner nominations, as we do every year. We'll get right to that in just a second. But Chad, we had a little bit of news that's broken out just before SDCC. Do you want to talk
a little bit?
Yeah,
a little bit.
A little bit.
Seems like they're pushing everything out. I'm sure they're pushing out things that they're going to be pimping at San Diego. But I mean, both Marvel and DC are kind of flooding the newswire.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, they've got some cool stuff coming up. Age of
Revelation,
but their new Alt X titles that are coming out for Age of Revelation. There we go. Has all been revealed with all their titles, and it's going to be huge. There's going to be 16 titles, and there's some knockout creative teams in there. Some folks that are making their return to the X world, like Jonathan Hickman is co-writing one with Long Shots with Gary Duggan, and a whole lot more than that. That kicks off in October. And then, so that's going to supplant the X line for a few months. And this is kind of their way of honoring the 30th anniversary of the Age of Apocalypse with the Age of Revelation. So it's set 10 years in the future. Revelation, a.k.a. Doug Ramsey, has, I guess, taken over the world and made things...
Well, I think isn't he the heir to Apocalypse or something?
Is the heir to Apocalypse. And that is an interesting thing right there that I don't think anybody growing up with New Mutants or Doug Ramsey would have ever considered to be something legit. But here we are, the year of our Lord 2025, and the guy whose superpower is to talk to people in various languages is the heir to Apocalypse. So buckle up.
I guess he won that mini-series then. I don't know.
I'm guessing he did. And that, good on him, I guess. I don't know. It's all a little strange.
I'm not an X person, really. I mean, I dabble. But are there any titles in the ones that they have announced that kind of stick out for you?
Well, I am interested in Laura Kinney Sabretooth because that's going to be the same creative team as the current Laura Kinney Wolverine book, written by Erica Schultz. So that should be great fun. Let's see here.
I think this time they're doing like the whole, the other Marvel Universe characters too. I think wasn't Age of Apocalypse just the X-Men?
It was, but there was also a two-parter called X Universe that tied into who is doing what in the greater Marvel universe. Sue Storm was in it, the Hulk, a few other folks, but it was just a little two-parter, so I didn't really get into everything. But let's see, we've got Unbreakable X-Men, which is written by Gail Simone. So that should be fantastic if you've been loving that. Rogue Storm. Let me say that again, a little slow. Rogue Storm, not Rogue and Storm, but Rogue Storm, although it does appear to just be Rogue and Storm. Written by Murewa Ayodele. I hope I didn't butcher that name too badly. But they are
currently writing Storm.
Storm, yeah. So there's some good continuity there. Iron and Frost by Cavan Scott. Dipping his toe in the X universe, I believe, for the first time.
I think he's done it before a little bit here and there.
Okay, well, maybe just a little bit here and there, but this is, he's been such a Star Wars guy that it's nice to see him over here in the world of X doing X things.
So
and
he's
he's a good
currently
writer.
writing the new Gwenpool series,
Oh,
where
that's right. That's right.
uh,
Sinister's 6 is written by David Marquez. And yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We got other titles like Iron and Frost. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was the one that was written by Cavan Scott. My bad. But I don't have the full list pulled up, and I won't bore you to listen while I'm just sitting there looking for it. But suffice to say, it looks pretty cool. Now, not to be outdone, DC is going big with their All In initiative this October, and we've got not one but two big time, uh, big time events happening.
events, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. We got the Absolute Evil one shot, which is going to show the various ne'er-do-wells of the Absolute universe coming together and really starting to tie together those books in a way that will bring a stronger sense of continuity. We may or may not get our first real look at Absolute Joker. We know he's in it, but we don't know to what capacity, or if he's just going to be draped in shadows the whole time, like some kind of jerk. So that's coming up, and that's going to lead to a whole slew of absolute issues coming out in October that are going to have big impacts on the line, including the debut of Absolute Catwoman in that month's issue of Absolute Batman. So that should be pretty cool. And then on the other side of things, the other side of the dark side All In equation in the regular, I guess we're calling it Earth Prime now, world, the DCKO is going to kick off. And that's going to be the new event series co-authored by Scott Snyder and Josh Williamson. And it sounds like
Two
lot
hacks.
of fun. Do what?
The two hacks.
Yeah, two total. These guys, what are they doing? They have no idea what they're doing writing comic books. Goodness alive. But no, it should be a pretty cool story. It's got to have a lot of heroes fighting heroes, I think. But Scott Snyder described it as a Superman-centric story. He said if Dark Knight's Metal was a Batman story, Dark Knight's Death Metal was a Wonder Woman story, then DCKO is our Superman story. So I don't know if it's going to tie back into those previous series. As a huge fan of both of them, I would not be opposed to it. But I kind of get the feeling it's going to stand on its own a little bit more.
They are, making or trying to make this new DC history more cohesive, because Mark Waid in his new history of the DC universe mentions all the Perpetua, who was it, Perpetua, and the World Forger, and the Monitor, and
Okay.
so they're tying it all in together, which is good.
Well, that's good, because if there's one thing that DC has no shortage of, it's confusing continuity. So if they're going to actually stick by the new history of the DC universe currently being written by and plotted out by Mark Waid, then it will be all for it.
Another hack who doesn't know what he's doing.
Exactly. Who is this guy? Why is he writing my favorite characters? But those are kind of the big announcements of the week. All the big publishers have announced, and a lot of the small publishers have announced their plans for San Diego Comic-Con. Who's going to be signing what booths they'll be at, all the usual goodies that you long for. So
and our good friend Steve Orlando is coming out with a new Man Cave book too.
Oh, that's right. Tell us a little bit about that, Chad.
I don't know. It's like it's a psycho political. It seems to be, have a lot of different genres, but it's been something that he's been working on for a while, and finally has got the chance to get out to the world. So it should be good, as always, as most of his stuff is.
Oh yeah. Orlando does not miss. He's a great writer. He's a good friend of the site and of the show. And God, we need to have him back on, Chad. It's been a couple years since
I'll
we
try.
talked.
I'll see if I can go through the, I'll
Yeah,
see.
let's see what we can make happen, Captain. But that's the big news. And of course, all your big San Diego news you can check out at comic-watch.com. And we won't steer you wrong.
Do you know
So
if we have anybody going?
we do not have anyone this year. We have never actually gotten anyone in at San Diego Comic-Con. We've gotten several people, including you, at New York, but never San Diego. So that's a goal to shoot for the future.
I think Anthony's gone before, but I could be wrong.
I don't think he went as a Comic Watch rep, though.
No, I don't think he has either. But
Yeah, no, unfortunately. But
I can just imagine how difficult that show is to do. Try to do press sets. Although I'm getting a lot of cool and nice places I wish, or parties I wish I could go to.
No doubt, absolutely. Comic book royalty at its finest. But without further ado, let's get into this year's Eisner nominees. Now we're gonna skip some of the smaller categories and dig in on the big ones that you really care about. So we'll just start with Best Writer this year. We got Tom King for Everything Under the Sun, including Helen of Windhorn, Ginny Sparks, The Penguin, and Wonder Woman and Animal Pound. Ram V for Rare Flavors, Dawn Runner, the One Hand and the Six Fingers, and Universal Monsters Creature of the Black Lagoon Lives. Kelly Thompson for Absolute Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, Scarlet, Venom War, It's Jeff. James Tynion Tynan. I have to retrain myself to say his name right. For again, Everything Under the Sun. James Tynan's had a prolific year. And then Jean Luen Yang for Lunar New Year Love Story from First Second. I want to make an observation here, Chad, and not just of this category, but of a lot of the big categories are very, very big two heavy this year, and that doesn't happen as much as we would typically see. And I don't know what that means exactly in terms of wanting to appease to the crowd, the larger crowds more or whatever. But I just think it's interesting because I've been saying for a while now, especially with respect to DC, that they are really in a renaissance right now. They have been firing on all cylinders since they kicked off All In last year, and I think it shows with a lot of their a lot of the folks that they've got nominated for Eisners this year. But what are your thoughts on Best Writer, Chad, on this category?
I think anybody could take it. I mean, it's like, and I'll probably use this phrase a lot this evening, but it's like if I had multiple kids, it'd be like trying to pick my favorite. But if I had to pick one, I'd say, I'll go with Kelly Thompson just because I've been enjoying
the same thing. Absolute Wonder Woman, and I'm biased. Like I'll frankly admit to it, I'm biased because Absolute Wonder Woman is one of my favorite, and Birds of Prey are two of my favorite DC books going right now. And I just, Tom King did Tom King things this year. Ram V did Ram V things, and that's not to say that they did bad, but I didn't see either one of those writers. And same things with James Tynan. I didn't see any of those writers really breaking out of their mold and just turning heads and wowing people this year like Kelly Thompson did. And pardon me, Jean Lun Yang, like, I need to read Lunar New Year Love Story. I have not, so I cannot comment on his output this year. But if it's anything like American Born Chinese, then it must be worth a look, because that book was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to Best Writer and Artist, we've got Charles Burns for work at Fantagraphics, Pantheon, and Partners and Son. Emil Ferris, My Favorite Things is Monsters, Book 2 from Fantagraphics. John Macy for Duna. Paco Roca for Return of Eden. Oliver Shrouvin possibly, for Sunday from Fantagraphics, and then Maria Sweeney for Brittle Joints. I'm not familiar with any of these.
I'm familiar with Charles Burns, but not. I'm familiar with Charles Burns, but not the ones that he's nominated for.
Right. Yeah. This one could go any way, folks, because this is a more quote unquote artsy category, less of a populist one, and it could go to anybody at this point. I do like the fact that Fantagraphics is represented 4 times. They're not a company that we talk about a whole lot, but they've been doing fantastic work for decades now, and it is really nice to see them getting represented on this big of a stage.
Mm-hmm.
So next we have Best Penciler, Inker, or Penciler Inker Team. So this is a big one. We got Felipe Andrade, I never know how to pronounce that one, for Rare Flavors. Nick Dragotta for Absolute Batman. Bilquis Evans. Manu Larsenet for The Road. Javier Rodriguez for Zatanna, Bring Down the House. And Liuan Pham, Lunar New Year Love Story. I'm really thinking that this one is Nick Dragotta's to lose. And the reason I say that is because, well, I mean, first of all, Absolute Batman is just a juggernaut of a book, right? Like, everybody's reading that book. But it's not just the writing that everybody's talking about. It's his interpretation of Batman as just this huge hulking dude who spends way too much time in the gym and could absolutely wreck you at any moment in time, but also his sense of page layout and how many, like, he's able to easily squeeze 11 or 12 panels on a page without missing a beat or making it look crowded. And I love that. Like, Absolute Batman is just pretty to look at. So to me,
it would look pretty good in like an absolute.
I really do what?
I said it would look pretty good in like the oversized absolute format.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So
I think it's
to
Nick
lose. Dragotta, you go, boy. I really think it is too. Okay. Best cover artist. Juni Ba for The Boy Wonder. Evan Cagle for New Gods and Detective Comics. Bilquis Evely for Animal Pound and Helena Windhorn. Tula Lote for Helena Windhorn and a whole bunch of other good stuff. Or Hayden Sherman for Absolute Wonder Woman and a few other things as well. I'm really torn because I love me some Tula Lote.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one is Evan Cagle's to lose. And excuse me, if you just look at it, I mean, at any of his art, whether it's on New Gods or Tech, Nobody draws like him. Nobody.
Right.
Like Hayden Sherman, if this was a competition on interiors, I'd say toss up between him and Hayden Sherman. But Hayden Sherman's Absolute Wonder Woman covers are not what the art aspect of that book that everybody's talking about. It's his interiors. And we'll get to best interior artists here in a few. But I got to give it up for my boy Evan Cagle. And I think that it's his to lose, like you said, Chad.
Well, I think that his
all right, best color
and Detective and New Gods are so such different styles that he uses for those too.
Yeah, exactly. He's not just a one-trick pony. So yeah, that's actually a really good point. Okay, best coloring, Jordi Belair for everything. Because Jordi Belair colors everything, it feels like. Matthias Lopez for Batman and Robin Year One and Helena Winhorn. Justin Prokovich for Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze, which bias because we had the author Witch on our show. This show. Javier Rodriguez for Zatanna, Bring Down the House. Dave Stewart for Basically Everything. And Quentin Zution for All Princesses Die Before Dawn and Beauty Salon. Neither of which I'm familiar with, so I cannot comment on Mr. Zution. I think the easy thing to say is Jordi Belair.
Yeah.
But man, Javi Rodriguez on Zatanna Bring Down the House is a spoiler. That was one hell of a pretty book.
It was. I think you're right. I think the even money's on Jordi Belair.
I think so. So it's, so it goes, right? Jordi Belair collects another coloring Eisner. Go figure. I'm going to skip over best lettering. If I can get my mouse to work. There we go. Okay. Best new series. This is a fun category. Like, I am very torn on this one. We've got Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Minor Arcana from Boom Studios by Jeff Lemire, The Pedestrian by Joey Esposito and Sean Von Gorman from Magma Comics, which, by the way, Magma Comics, way to show out on your first year of publishing. I love it. Yeah. The Power Fantasy by Kieran Gillen and Casper Wingard. And then Uncanny Valley by our friend Tony Fleece and Dave Wachter from Boom Studios. Dude, this could go any which where, but since it's a popularity contest, I'm leaning towards Absolute Batman.
Yeah, but I would love to see. I'd love to see The Pedestrian or Uncanny Valley. Just upset.
Most definitely. Like, those are dark horse candidate. Dark horse. Those are dark horse candidates to be sure. But and yeah, I'd love for the Power Fantasy to win. That is a killer series that nobody is talking about, unfortunately, except for our monthly reviewer, Lily Hawkwinder at comic-watch.com for our another free plug. It could go any which way, but I'm leaning into Absolute Batman again because the book is just a phenomenon.
I'd say Absolute Batman with Absolute Wonder Woman a close second.
Yeah, I can dig that. Spoiler, I like Absolute Wonder Woman personally a little bit better than Absolute Batman. And that's I just do. they're both a ridiculously fun series, but yeah, Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman or Sherman Hayden Sherman are cooking up something special on Absolute Wonder Woman every month. But
Now,
anyway,
just off the top of your head, well, off the top of your head, are there any books that you feel like maybe should have been on there that aren't?
I think
I know it's a
it
tough
was
question with everything that comes out.
I think it missed the cutoff, but I would say Absolute Martian Manhunter we'll see next year. I think we'll see it in several categories next year. I believe it missed the cutoff this year for nominations because it didn't come out until March, I think, or maybe April.
Yeah.
But
let's see, it's almost
it was too late for it to be nominated. Issue 5 comes out this coming week.
Okay. Yeah, Dennis Camp will probably have a couple on the new series next year. I wouldn't be surprised to see Assorted Crisis events up there too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a book that everybody should be reading. So, okay, best continuing series. This is another really stacked category. We've got The Department of Truth by James Tynion and Martin Simmons from Image. Detective Comics by Ram V, Tom Taylor, Riccardo Federici, Stefano Raphael, Javier Fernandez, Christian Deuce, Guillaume March, and Michael Janine. Fantastic Four by Ryan North, Carlos Gomez, Ivan Fiorelli, and others. Santos Sisters from Floating World. I am unfamiliar with this one. It is by Greg and Fake. And that's not a typo. Graham Smith, Dave Landsberger, and Mark Koprinarov. Thank you. Silly Russian names. Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman, Marco Cicchetto, and David Messina, or Wonder Woman by Tom King and Daniel St. Pierre. Wow. This is a stacked category.
I don't know. I think it might have to be Fantastic Four because Ryan North has been doing a lot of fun and different things with the team.
Well, I mean, so is Jonathan Hickman with Ultimate Spider-Man, though. I mean, this whole category, I'll say it's almost easier to
eliminate
the ones that probably won't win. So I would say Wonder Woman probably won't win because it's good, but it's also Tom King doing Tom King things, and that tends to be divisive. So I don't know how well that will play with the judges.
Yeah.
Santos Sisters, I just don't know anything about.
I don't know about Detective Comics because I feel like, it was uneven at times.
Yeah, I agree on that too. Like, as much as I love Ram V, I feel like his storyline needed a little bit tighter editing to rein it in a little bit in places. Although Tom Taylor's just been knocking it out of the park since then. So, Department of Truth remains really good, but to me, it's suffering from spinning its wheels and a little bit too much, and not really feeling like it's going anywhere at this point. So I'm a little surprised that it got nominated as good as it is. So yeah, I mean, to me, like you were saying, Chad, our two biggest contenders are either Fantastic Four or Ultimate Spider-Man, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which one will it be? I don't know. But it could go any which way. Between those two, I think. Okay. We're up to Best Limited Series. And this is a category that I think when I read off the first nominee, you're going to be like, okay, that's the winner. But we're going to go through them all anyway. Alan Scott, The Green Lantern by Tim Sheridan and Cyan Tormey.
Winner.
Winner. But we've also got Animal Pound by Tom King and Peter Gross. The Deviant by James Tynion IV and Joshua Hickson. Helen of Windhorn by Tom King and Bilquis Evely. Rare Flavors by Ram V and Philippe Andrade. Or Zatanna, Bring Down the House by Mariko Tamaki and Javier Rodriguez. Look, Alan Scott, The Green Lantern, that comic was on everybody's short list for very good reason. It is a knockout series. It deals with incredibly complex themes of
and he did so much to bring that character, from where he was to, where he is now.
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like there's no way this one doesn't win. If there's any category that I think is a lock, it's this one.
Yes.
So,
and Tim is the nicest guy.
Tim Sheridan's a champ. Like, we talk on Facebook all the time, and you've interviewed him,
yeah, I sat with him for about 10 minutes at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, and he's been on the show with us before, and yeah, just a super nice dude. Let's see, best short. Okay, I'm kind of skimming through some of these smaller categories just for the sake of time, because I want to get to best writer and best artist. Let's see. Oh no, I skipped it over. Well, now you get Chad. What are you looking most forward to this year? While I look from San Diego.
I don't know. Like I said, it's I will probably never make it out to San Diego, but it just looks like it's a fun time, even though it's really busy, and just seeing all of the invites to all the different. They're doing a Superman and Old Spice collaboration, and there was they're offering an opportunity to interview the Old Spice guy.
No kidding.
So, I'm hoping they have. I'm hoping they have similar things with New York this year, which kind of harder to do because San Diego's I would say it's a bigger show, but New York is the big show of the East Coast.
Damn right it is. And why wouldn't it be? It's in New York, New York. It's a hell of a town. Let's see. So best short story. I do want to go over this one because it's got some really interesting stuff that I hadn't heard of. But Anything Sinister by Ross Murray in Now number 13 from Fantagraphics. Day 1703 by Chris Ware in Smoke Signal number 43 from Desert Island. Pig by Stacy, and I'm going to butcher this last name, Gugolis from Now number 13 from Fantagraphics. Spaces by Phil Jimenez in DC Pride 2024 number 1. Water I've Loved, Moving Day by Pam Y in Mother Magazine. And then You Cannot Live on Bread Alone by Kayla E in Now number 13. What the hell is Now number 13 so big that they've got all these 3 of the 6 nominations out of this? Like, was this magazine just saying, okay, this is our Eisner bait issue and we're going for it, and screw the rest of you guys. If you're not in Now number 13, you're never going to get heard from again. Screw you guys. We're going home. I don't know enough about any of these stories to say whether or who's going to win what, and I wouldn't. I would not presume to guess. Although the fact that we did get a DC Pride story in there by Phil Jimenez, I presume written and drawn by Phil Jimenez, which is a very, very nice treat. But yeah, this is a really cool category because the short story in general tends to get overlooked because, well, it's a short story, right? Yeah. We're trained as comics readers to buy and consume the full smorgasbord of the comic, not the short story. But a lot of big artists get their start writing short stories, or big artists, or artists/writers, I should say, get their start with writing and or drawing these short stories. So this is always a category that I kind of like to watch because a lot of rising talent, or just talent that typically flies under the radar that we all know, like Chris Ware, tend to show out a little bit in this. So if you never read Acme Novelty Library by Chris Ware, do yourself a favor, get on that now. It is totally worth it. So let's see. Publication for kids.
Isn't there a best single issue?
Best graphic album reprint. Well, I'm looking for it. Archival.
It should be because
comic-related book.
The Ice Cream Man is nominated. The decompression story.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Ice Cream. You're right. We did skip that one. Let me find it. Best limited series. Hey, stop that. I hate Chromebooks so much. Oh, here we go. I did. Yeah, I accidentally skipped right over it. It was best single issue or one shot. This will be the last category we go over. So the first one is the humorously titled Abortion Pill Zine, a community guide to misoprostol and mifepristone by Isabella Rotman, Marnie Galloway, and Sage Coffey from Silver Sprocket. Ice Cream Man number 39. Decompression in a Wreck Part 1 by W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo. Pee Pee Poo Poo number 1 by Carolyn Cash, Silver Sprocket. Sunflowers by Keezy Young and published by Silver Sprocket. Unwholesome Love by Charles Burns, co-published with Partners and Son. And then lastly, The War on Gaza by Joe Sacco and Fantagraphics. Chad, what do you think? I know you're a big Ice Cream Man fan.
I mean, I'm surprised that more the more recent Ice Cream Man issues weren't nominated. Of course, they may have missed the cutoff too. But
sure.
The decompression, it was a two-parter, but it was just. I don't know. It left me to this going, oh wow, this is this is great that he was able to do that in a comic book and
right,
not only explain what decompression is, but also tell a story while doing it.
Yeah, no doubt. I would say just for topical reasons, The War on Gaza by Joe Sacco might be a dark horse candidate in this category as well. And I love seeing a newer player, or publisher, I should say, in Silver Sprocket, because I've never heard of them, which, take that with a grain of salt. But it's nice to see new publishers, or maybe they're not even a new publisher, but unknown or lesser known publishers getting a spotlight in categories like this. So I think we're all thinking Ice Cream Man, with the War on Gaza as a dark horse candidate.
Yeah.
Speaking of whom, dark horse really hasn't represented this year, which is odd.
They only Helena Wyndham or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. They did do Helena Wyndham. You're right. Good looking out. So,
I think that's
but
the only
yeah,
one
that's
that I
been
can really think of.
yeah, they've been. I have complicated feelings about modern Dark Horse. Put it that way. I grew up with Dark Horse in the '90s, as did you, and like they set a very high bar back then in their first and second decade of publication that I think is something that they're a high that they're still trying to chase. And I really feel like in the 2000s they did themselves a disservice by switching their focus more to licensed properties.
Yeah.
And then they, one by one lost those licenses, most notably Star Wars. And that left them kind of holding the bag. Now, look, they've been around since 1986. I'm not worried about their financial health or anything like that. I don't think Dark Horse is going anywhere, but I do think that they've kind of lost their identity a little bit over the intervening years. And that's sad to me because Dark Horse was like, the indie publisher in the 90s, other than Image, obviously. Number 4 with a bullet, so to speak. And now they're just not. And it sucks. Stop. The cat's trying to drink my water out of the glass.
I'm surprised that Mad Cave doesn't have a lot more people on the list. I mean, I think they have Becca Carey, who did some stuff for them as a letterer, but I'm surprised because they've been putting out some top-notch stuff themselves.
Oh, most definitely. Mad Cave might be the new Dark Horse. You never know. They've been around for what, 5 years now, and 5 or 6 years, and they're consistently swinging for the fences with what they publish. And I feel that they keep it up, and they're going to continue to be a player.
I think they continue to be a player because they have the Mad Cave line itself, and then they have their paper cuts and the Maverick lines. So it's kind of diversified.
Yeah, you're for sure right on that. And that diversification is definitely one of their strengths. And like you said, they're not going anywhere. So, but that is kind of it. Do you have any final thoughts on this year's Eisner nominations, Chad?
I would like to, I think it's the best teen book. I'm hoping that Big Jim wins. That's Daniel L. Walker and Marcus Anderson. I know Marcus Anderson. I've talked many times I talked to David L. Walker and Marcus at New York Comic Con, and that's just an awesome book. It's it's Tom Sawyer, but from Jim's point of view, and tells more of his story.
What you're talking about. Hell yeah!
So,
but
I'm surprised I didn't see a lot of things like I don't know if it's missed the cutoff date, but I was surprised not that Watership Down didn't get a nomination for best adaptation of a previously published work or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
when did it publish? Because I believe January 1 is the cutoff.
I mean, it was at New York Comic Con, so last year, so it should have been out. But it was. That's the only way you're going to get me to read Watership Down.
Screw those mice.
Mm-hmm. So.
But okay, that kind of wraps our Eisner 2025 coverage. Chad, do you have anything else you want to chat about? Anything super or not? Because you haven't seen the movie yet.
I have not seen the Superman movie, but I want to.
I'm dying to talk about Superman, and you haven't watched it.
Like, I've seen the reviews, but I'm kind of gun shy because I haven't seen either cut of the Justice League movie. I haven't watched The Flash, so what else? Were there other DC movies that I haven't seen or I'm
Black
avoiding?
Adam.
I saw that. I had
Oh,
it
I'm
on one day
sorry.
when I was. It was one of those I was playing on the background when I was working from home one day.
That movie doesn't do
But
anything original in its entirety.
but I like what I'm hearing about Superman,
Yes, and you don't need to have
even though
seen
it's
any of those other movies to just sit down and enjoy it. One of the I'm just gonna. This is not spoilery or anything like that.
okay.
But one of the things I love about it is the way that the movie just leans into its comic book origins, and I say that in a way like there's hot girl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, they're just there. No big
Hmm.
explanation, no origin stories. Like James Gunn trusts us to be able to figure out who these people are, where their place in the narrative is, but also the fact that it's just throwing around very comic booky things like pocket universes and just like everyday stuff, and uh it's a ton of fun. It doesn't belabor it. It doesn't act like it's embarrassed to be a comic book movie. It is a
I
comic book movie.
I heard it's a little woke.
Superman's been woke since 1938, so I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
There's
I was,
actually, I will
but
say
but
there
but
has
Dean
been.
Cain said it was too woke.
Oh, not Dean Cain. No, not washed up D-lister Dean Cain.
Send hate mail to chad@comicwatch.com.
No, it's I again, without getting into spoiler territory, it it didn't blow my mind, but at the same time, excuse me, it did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was basically be a comic book come to life.
So does
And
it rinse the bad taste of the previous DC movies out of your mouth?
it absolutely helps. So, yeah. If you haven't seen Superman yet, what are you waiting for? Get out there and believe a
I
man
have
can
a
fly
kid.
again. But having said that, I think we're done early tonight, Chad. I don't know what we're
Yeah,
doing.
I don't
Um,
know.
we're
Usually this
off
is the point
next
where we,
week because it's San
yeah, off
Diego
next
Comic
week.
Con and everybody's busy. Do you know offhand who we got in 2 weeks?
I can't remember, but it's he's a writer from Peru.
From what?
Peru.
Peru. Okay. I hope I don't butcher this gentleman's name.
So
But anyway, thank you all very much for listening. We appreciate it. We appreciate comments, and we just, we do what we do out of love for comics and being able to give back to the medium and help feed into the narrative conversation that is had between comics creators and fans. And, we're privileged to be able to do this. So we will see you in 2 weeks. Not a moment too soon. And other than that, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for listening to our
and
show. Get out there, do some
check
good
out
in the
stuff on the
world.
site.
What?
Have to check out the site.
Check out comic-watch.com. Absolutely. Your home for fandom news and pro reviews. And yeah. Till next time, be good.
Oh.